to put ourselves in a beginner's mind, you should only give them as much information as they need to be able to do what you want them to do. All right. So it's, of course, we could say, well, a great legato stroke has flexibility in the fingers. It has thumb contact, but not too much thumb contact. And it's don't squeeze too much, but only just enough. And then you want to make sure your wrist is moving too, but then also bend your elbow and make sure your shoulders are relaxed. That's all great information. That's a level 4 way to describe a legato stroke. For a beginner, it's put your finger on your wrist and do this. Make sure that when you teach very beginners, you only give them at most 2 things to think about. So it's either one or the other. We want to keep everything on the same theme of a hinge. So you know that the fulcrum is a hinge within the grip. The wrist is a hinge between the hand and the arm, and the elbow is a hinge between the forearm and the upper arm. So those are the 3 hinges or joints or centers of rotation or movement in your arm that every drummer uses. All right. And so we always train the first point of contact to the stick, which is the fulcrum, and then the wrist. The elbow, we don't talk about until approaching level 2 skills. It's not necessary for your kids to be able to play everything at level 1. So just make sure that we all understand that how to identify the difference. So can you guys play only from your elbow for a minute? Can you guys play legatos only from your elbow? That's great. Look at that. And so that's the elbow. Now point to CeeLo's elbow. So y'all see that? Now point to the wrist. Now can y'all play from the wrist only? When you play from the wrist, it's going to draw an arc back to 90 degrees. When you play from the elbow, it's going to draw a straight line up and down. So that's really important. That's going to tell you, looking down the line, watching the tips of the sticks, who's using what. Let's talk about some look-fors. And look-fors are, classroom teacher?
What you want to see from your class, from your students.
Yeah. So what you could do during this of great look for is the feet. A lot of people would say hands, right? Because that's the objective on the screen.
Right.
But what we're really looking for is whether the feet stay steady. So just notice as you add that clap, are your feet staying steady? What about this rhythm provides checkpoints for their feet?
Falls right on your feet.
What does?
If it's in between.
The first beat.
The first beat falls on your feet as well as what else?
The third.
Yeah, the third note. So this is actually an easier rhythm for some kids to coordinate than the one before it, because in this one, it's kind of open-ended, right?
Yeah.
We're just clapping twice and then leaving the next beat for your foot. And make a big deal out of that song. You know what I mean? This is what we know is a fast tempo for level 1 players, which is 120 beats in a minute. All right?
One bad beat.
So now, watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to start changing it up on them. I'm going to make them go fast and then go slow so they can experience fast or slow. And once again, the look fours are the feet. There you go. Notice how y'all set it right on the feet together. Y'all are drum line.
No, it's not.
What's a subdivision?
It's a breakdown.
It's a breakdown. Great word for it. What else? You said?
Cut it in half.
That's exactly right. A subdivision is when you cut something in half. Okay, so a subdivision of a half a cake is 2/4 of a cake. All right. So what we're gonna do right now, I want everybody just to tap your foot. And I want you to listen to when the guitar comes in.
It's coming on the offbeat.
Bop, 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 bop. That always happens at the beginning of the what? The beat or the bar? hear it in the bass now? Bum, 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 bum. Every melody in this case comes in on the beginning of every beat, so this is not the best song to teach the beginning of a bar. So the melody is starting on every beat. It's not necessarily starting at the beginning of every bar. Okay, however here, this is a way to teach a bar, because it's starting on one. The beat is in your
Feet.
Why is that memorable?
Because it rhymes.
Yes, rhymes and alliteration, right? So the beat, hear the beat, move your feet. Hear the beat, move your feet. Great way for kids to remember that, right? The bar happens on every what beat?
First of the beat.
First beat, all right? The first subdivision of the quarter note is the eighth note. And how can we tell that the eighth notes are subdivisions of the beat?
2 eighth notes make a quarter note. Well, not, make a beat.
Yep, there's 2 eighth notes per beat, or we could say that the eighth notes are going how many times as fast as the beat? Twice as fast. So we could take a look at that first bar, and we could say the counts are
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest.
There you go. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and tells me that there's 2 eighth notes on beat 1, 2 eighth notes on beat 2, 2 on beat 3, and 2 on beat 4. And the and is the note that's in between the beat because it's going twice as fast as the beat. All right?
Quarters. Switch it up.
Clap eighth notes. Go down, y'all. Back to hear the beat. Hear the beat.
Move your feet.
Here we go. Hear the beat.
Move your feet.
Here we go. Hear the beat.
Move your feet.
Hear the beat. On the side. Quarter notes. Let's go. Here we go now.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
Everybody play eighth notes. Now back to hear the beat. Here we go.
quarter notes. Eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Clap it up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and
As soon as we learned the counts, as looking at the paper, we looked at how to count quarter notes versus eighth notes. We introduced the counts first. It was hear the beat, move your feet, hear the beat, move your feet, and then we say it, and then we did it. All right, so this is the process that you use to teach music at any level. If I wanted to teach tap 5-stroke rolls to somebody at level 3, I would say I'm saying the 5-stroke roll. If I were to play it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying what I'm playing. And it always starts with looking at the pattern and learning the counts first. So I would literally, if I was trying to teach somebody tap 5-stroke rolls, I would have them label the single notes as a dut and the diddles as a digga, right? To learn how to count it. And then I would ask them to hear the beat, move their feet, so they understand how the tap 5-stroke rolls are played. Because me saying this could be 2 different tempos. It could either be 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, which is triplet tempo, 2 and a 3 and a, or it could be which is in 4/4 time with 16th notes. All right, so you got to understand that this process applies at all levels.